everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah, hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Oh, now let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Hey, hey,
Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in Santa Rosa. I am Russ Laguerre, your assistant minister, and I'm so glad to be here with you today. And we're redoing our online service because the first 10 minutes of the last one was not there. So if you're watching us online, again, thank you for watching us online. Again, we're really glad to have you with us. And wherever you're watching us all around the world. Maya Angelou once said, "I long, as does every human being, to be at home wherever I find myself." And I can say without reservation that this center is a place where I truly feel at home. And having been your assistant minister now for 3.5 years, how time flies, I'm constantly amazed by all of the love and the welcome and the joy that I see shared here, not just with me, but with amongst all of you. It's really beautiful to see. And so that fills me with gratitude. And so I like to pay my gratitude forward. I hope that you too feel just as home here as I do. Our work at the center, our work to help us all to feel at home within our own hearts, is guided by our vision and our mission statement. And would you please join me in speaking those out loud? The Center for Spiritual Living is a spiritual community that promotes global transformation through personal transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. We are motivated by a compelling global vision that inspires us to bring the gifts of compassion, integrity, and loving kindness to the world through our programs and teaching. Together, we are helping create a world that works for everyone. And you can find this global vision on the front page of our website, CSLSR.org. By clicking on the very first link that you'll see on there called We Are One. And part of this vision reads that we envision a world where communities are meaningfully involved in service to the world. And you'll hear about our nonprofit partner that's kicking off our 2025 nonprofit partners today, because they are doing that good work to help to serve communities in the world. Now, there are 5 foundational spiritual practices that we share here in our community to work towards this vision. And would you read those out loud with me? Spiritual study, affirmative prayer, meditation, selfless service, spiritual circulation. We use flowers at our center to send messages of love and appreciation for one another. And today's flower dedication is from our center family, which was shared with us by Reverend Scioto Bell, our spiritual support minister. And this flower dedication honors Laura Lee, who is a wise and loving practitioner who served our center for 20 years. Her heartfelt prayers brought solace to many, and her generous spirit touched all of us. Laura, we will miss your light and loving presence, yet your legacy of compassion lives on in our hearts. So thank you, Reverend Scioto, for that. And speaking of flowers, we would now like to extend a warm welcome to all of our first-time visitors. If you are a first-time visitor, would you please stand as you're able or raise your hand? We would love to bring you a flower and a welcome packet as a token of our gratitude for you joining us today. Hello and welcome. I know that somewhere between the music, the meditation, the prayer, the practices, and Reverend Tara's message this morning is exactly what you need to experience for the next step of your spiritual journey. Please know you are very, very welcome here. Now, I invite you to sit back and relax and enjoy some music before a short time of silent contemplation and prayer.
I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One.
There is only one power. There is only one source, infinitely present, showing up in so many ways. Sometimes silent, sometimes with energetic vitality. But however it shows up, and by whichever name it goes by, it is absolute in its presence. It is absolute in its essence, flowing through each and every one of its creations. It is the ground of all being from which all else has come. It is love. It is spacious wholeness. It is absolute beauty and balance and harmony. It is vitality and serenity and that overall presence of peace. It is whole, perfect, and simply complete, however it looks. And it is me. It is part of me as it is part of each and every person in this sanctuary and online, in the universe and beyond. Each of us, a gift in humanness, showing who we are as individualized expressions of that one divine presence. Each of us showing beauty and balance and harmony in multidimensional ways. And as we do, we make this world a better place. I accept for this morning a sense of community, a sense of interconnectedness, and pure spaciousness. I accept for every part of this service, love. Every part of the announcements, every part of the prayer, every part of the message delivered by Reverend Tara, and all through the music. And as we appreciate each of those parts, it is knowing that each of us is whole, complete, and perfect as one complete whole with that divine. I simply give great thanks for this time, and I release this prayer into the love, into the law of love that always acts on everyone's behalf. And together we say, and so it is. Amen. Good morning. My name is Peggy Weber, and I am a prayer practitioner at the center. Would you please join me with the affirmation that is behind me as we read it in unison? Spirit within me creates through me, and so it is.
Time on foolishness and useless rhyme. I heard him say he thought that trees could talk. Well, if they did, what would it mean to hear beyond our day's routine? I'm not sure we'd take the time to stop. But in these branches live our dreams, wild ideas and crazy schemes, the wisdom of a million fruitful years. Love unfolds in gentle leaves, reveals the truth that lies beneath, protecting all the souls that we hold dear. If only we could see our way clear, to listen, oh, listen. that listening's lost its style. We haven't stopped in quite a while to smell the sweetness of a rose. If we can't see and we won't hear long enough to face our fears, we can't learn what dreams would have us know. Now the boy's grown and wise. He's learned to live with compromise. He's looking back on years and taking stock. He thinks of what his life's been missing and knows that if he tries to listen, late at night the trees will start to talk. The wind will blow and trees will softly talk. Will we listen? Listen, oh, listen.
Thank you. Thank you, Christopher and gentlemen of the band. That perfect song came from just a little snippet of a request from me about the meditation music. So we are blessed. Before I move into my talk this morning, I want us to pause for a moment, center in what we know of love and community and spirit, and hold those in the midst of the fires in Los Angeles in that place of presence. If you will please join me in stillness. The one that abides in all is present in all that is. And so it is. Thank you. So this morning I'm going to take you back in time to 2016 and talk about something that I experienced. And it came about because as Dr. Edward was beginning to engage in the AIDS life cycle, which still goes on today, and in fact there's a bake sale to support it, he invited some of us to join him in that life cycle experience and fundraising. I paused and pictured myself in the midst of hundreds of bicyclists going down that narrow, windy Highway 1 all the way to Los Angeles and realized that was not something that called to me. I politely and clearly said, "No way, Edward." And thank goodness there are others that do feel called to that, and bless their hearts for what they do. What was interesting, yeah, you can go ahead and applaud the AIDS life cycle folk. They're amazing. What was interesting was later that same day, I started thinking about what might challenge me and inspire me that wasn't quite so terrifying. I remembered that for years I had dreamt about doing the John Muir Trail hike. It starts in Yosemite and goes south past Mount Whitney. It's about 160 miles. I decided that was something that called to me that I chose to do. So for the next 6 months, I was the spreadsheet queen. I weighed every single bit of clothing to make sure that whatever was a half-ounce lighter was what I had. I looked at the trail and where I might camp. I did all kinds of gym work to make sure my body was strong. And so in mid-August, I set out from Tuolumne Meadows. I had camped out overnight with my family and some friends who all wished me well. And I was incredibly excited to finally be realizing this dream. My first meal was a picnic alongside the Tuolumne River. As I was eating my cheese and crackers and whatever it was, my feet were in the coolness of the stream because backpacking shoes are not the most comfortable shoes in the world. And there was a lot of fun in that hike. I remember sending a video back to the center showing my socks, which I had washed, which had been on a log and frozen overnight. Knock, knock, knock on wood. I also was bemused and occasionally frustrated by the younger hikers on the trail who would come up to me as I was making my methodical way, enjoying the flowers and the scenery, and say, "Are you okay? You're moving so slowly." And I said, "Yeah, this is Oma speed. It works for me." Then, about 6 days or so into my hike, I started to feel a bit wonky, a little bit dizzy and unbalanced. And I realized that I was having a mild stroke. Fortunately, my daughter had convinced me to wear a device that I could, via satellite, text to her and let her know how things were going, and could also issue an SOS to search and rescue. So I let her know what was up so she wouldn't freak out when search and rescue called her, and then I simply settled down to wait and see what unfolded. Never in all of that time, because I was so grateful and in bliss to be on the trail, did I feel afraid. And amazingly, I came through it with very minimal permanent effects. So that's the first part of the story. After a bit of a detour, I'll tell you the rest of the story. One of the ways I prepare for talks is I go next door to my daughter and say, "This is what I'm talking about. What do you think?" And I told her the title of my talk, "Making Space for It." Without a beat, she immediately said, "Mom, what does it mean?" And so that's where I want to start. What is the it that we're talking about? It's that something that is bigger than our own individual selves. It's the presence, the allness. In this teaching, it's most often perhaps called spirit. Dr. Edwards some years ago did a talk, and he identified almost 100 different names for it in our Science of Mind textbook. And I expect each one of you has your buddy names, your ways that you connect with spirit. And each of those names is your special way or ways. And each of those is just right for you. Here's one comment on what that isness is. This from an Indian teacher who happens to also have been a little vendor in a little shop selling cigarettes. So he's a very down-to-earth fellow. But here's how he describes a mystical experience. It's Sri Nasirgadatta Maharaj. When I say I am, I do not mean a separate entity with a body as its nucleus. I mean the totality of being, the ocean of consciousness, the entire universe of all that is and knows. The entire universe of all that is and knows. Given that vastness of the I amness, which is also within us, why would that something need for us to make room for it? Couldn't it just come in and do what it needed to do, take what space it needed? Science of mind recognizes that spirit is everywhere present. It is the one life, including all of creation, as its expression. That means that each of us is a unique, individualized, not individual separate, but individualized expression of the divine, with our unique gifts, talents, and ways of being. That's what our Creator invites us to step into, not being clones, each one just like the other one. How incredibly boring that would be. Our thoughts are an important part of our uniqueness. Our thoughts and beliefs influence and at times create our life experience. That's the blessing and the challenge. As babies, we don't know much of anything, and so everything is possible. Probably the first thing we learn is, if I cry, someone comes to help me, which is important knowledge. Then, over time, we learn what our family expects of us, what's successful in our family, and then in our education and our work life. How do I get to be the right person? What makes me successful? And sadly, all of that tends to be either external input or a way that we judge ourselves and compare ourselves. Wow, that person is doing all of that. She's amazing. Oh my goodness, well, I'm better than that person. I mean, I can do better than that. And all of that separates us from who we are, moment to moment to moment. It's our view of the world and how it works. It involves comparing ourselves with others, how we are better or worse than them. It involves following the expectations of others or ourselves. As we live our lives, we may come to believe that there are certain things we must have or be for happiness. What at birth were infinite possibilities becomes a smaller and smaller field of options, closing in away from that infinite possibility that is our birthright. There is less and less room for change, creativity, flow, because that's just how things are. Or equally as limiting, there's a desire for continuous improvement. The hope that with enough work, concentration, effort, practice, we'll measure up to some standards. How exhausting. The belief that it's just the way it is, and that with enough work, someday we'll get it right, both limit our openness to spirit. So I'm going to talk about something other than the use of perfect. I'll begin with a little bit for the word nerds among you. To be perfect is to be finished, complete, just right. It's a goal, an end point, a finality. How many of you have found life to be very set and predictable and the same, static? Anyone? So that's the point. In striving for perfection, we're not acknowledging the actual nature of life, its possibilities, its changeability, its unexpectedness, its openness. In this month's issue of the Science of Mind magazine, which is fabulous, by the way, Reverend Ryan Alexander speaks to this. They suggest that our true nature is imperfection. Since we have determined that static perfection does not exist, then the alternative is a philosophy and an understanding on imperfection, defined as the ever-changing, ever-moving, ever-evolving reality of our lives, this planet, this universe, this whatever is beyond. Imperfection is not being obsessed with our flaws, but rather an understanding that nothing is static, literally nothing. Our nature, the nature of everything, is the urge to move, create, try new things, embrace the unknown, rest, and then do it all again. And here's Reverend Ryan's bottom line. We begin to untangle ourselves from the loop of do better, be more, do more. Life is not about striving for a static state or the be-all and end-all of existence. We need to recognize that our worth is not dependent on those things. Our value is inherent, and embracing the fluidity of imperfection is a step in the direction of understanding that reality. Let me say that bit again. Our value is inherent, and embracing the fluidity of imperfection is a step in the direction of understanding that reality. Our value is not earned, folks. It's given at our birth and even before. So before I go back to the other part of the story of the John Muir hike, I want to take you through a thought experience from Reverend Ryan's essay. So if you're comfortable doing so, please close your eyes and take a moment to feel how your body and mind respond when I say, you are imperfect. Notice how you feel, what thoughts arise. Okay, now let that all go. And I'm going to give you another statement, and I again invite you to feel into what arises in you. You are imperfect, always changing, moving, evolving, and never static. How does that feel? Noticing that difference, an awareness within yourself, is incredibly important. So here's the rest of the story of my journey on the John Muir Trail. I came home from Yosemite with remarkably few permanent changes in my body, and I gratefully acknowledged how fortunate I was. However, what I didn't share 8 years ago was that I was filled with anger. My body, my faithful servant, was no longer reliable. Underneath that anger was grief. Grief that my dream of completing the John Muir Trail was no longer an option. I settled into knowing my limitations and not being a happy camper. One of my core beliefs has always been in infinite possibility. I came to it as a child, listening to my mother and grandmother telling me that I could be anything I wanted to be, that was always possible. Then I arrived at Science of Mind about 20-some years ago and heard a similar phrase, change your thinking, change your life, which to me meant the same thing. I could create in my mind how I wanted my life to be, no limitations. So when that belief was challenged by the event of the stroke, there was anger and there was grief, because something that was really important to me no longer appeared to be so. I suspect that many of you in general believe in the power of our thoughts, but also have examples of where it doesn't seem to be so. And I'm saying this publicly because it is in fact a part of our as is. So here's where I go with that. I still believe in infinite possibilities, but that no longer means that anything is possible for me. Those of you who have math backgrounds know that infinite is infinite, and any piece of infinite is still infinite. There's no limit in infinite. And there are still infinite possibilities available to me. However, there's another piece that I need to pay attention to. I need to know what really matters to me, what brings me joy, what resonates, and then allow creativity to evolve from that. So there are many ways to find those wonderful experiences of the JMT without having to be physically hiking the JMT. There are still no limits, just the limits that I perceive as, well, if I can't do this, nothing matters. Let me give you an example of what this means. Everyone has unique gifts and talents, and it's important that you know what those gifts and talents are and how you express them in the world with joy and delight. For a lot of us, when we are known to have certain talents, that means that people expect us to do certain things. Here's an example. I'm pretty good at categorizing and tracking stuff. That's one of the talents I have. And that's a skill that's pretty valuable in today's world. There are a lot of people who could use folks who can keep track of stuff. The fact that there's a need does not mean that I am supposed to fill that need, even if I find it tedious and mind-numbing. I have that talent, but there are other ways for me to bring it forward that not only are joyful, but also resonate with who I am. I think too often we hear the needs of others and feel like we have to meet them while not paying attention to who we actually are. Recently, I read Parker Palmer's book, Let Your Life Speak. And he talks a lot about the importance of recognizing our gifts and of not getting swept up in other people's views and expectations. He invites us to discard the idea that a vocation or calling comes from a voice external to ourselves, a voice of moral demand that asks us to become someone we are not yet, someone different, someone better, someone just beyond our reach. Instead, he says, vocation, calling, or being ourselves, comes from a voice in here, calling me to be the person I was born to be, to fulfill the original selfhood given to me at birth. For me, vocation, calling, or what I often just think of as being me, used to feel like it had to be a big deal, important, newsworthy. That left me with a feeling of not good enough, or just plain not enough. Now, reflecting on this interview, along with Rev Ryan's reminder that our value is inherent, not earned, I listen within for the many possible ways to express my unique gifts and talents. Revisiting my stuckness around what I couldn't do after my stroke, I looked within for what felt so marvelous about being on that trail. The beauties of nature, uninterrupted time by myself, doable physical challenge, awe and wonder moment to moment. I can create experiences that resonate with those qualities. Dwelling on what I can't do does not bring joy. Opening up to what's possible is an infinite dance of delight. Again, there are infinite ways it can happen when I am open to them. As we approach the end of this talk, I want to look at the affirmation that was linked to the talk title, Making Space for It. That affirmation is, I embrace divine guidance and the profound peace it brings. Divine guidance, that which is always available when we pay attention. Here's how Oprah Winfrey described it. I have felt the presence of God my whole life. Even when I didn't have a name for it, I could feel the voice bigger than myself speaking to me. And all of us have that same voice. Be still and know it. It's always there speaking to you and waiting for you to hear it. In every move, in every decision, I wait and I listen. This listening can be as simple as stopping, quieting, speaking the word help. It is embedded in your love for yourself, not just the way you are, but also the way you are not. That's the source of that profound peace that comes with embracing divine guidance. One time I had a brilliant insight, so simple I laughed out loud. Peace is not fighting. Sounds like the brilliance of a 5-year-old. Peace is not fighting. Peace is stopping to listen within, without judgment, without comparison, knowing yourself just the way you are, with trust, with patience. There is love and wisdom within each one of you, just waiting to blossom more fully and richly. Just the way you are, and just the way you are not. You are simply here, as is, in this sweet moment. In the words of our founder, Ernest Holmes, we are here to approach this present simply, directly and easily, for it is within us. We can never get outside ourselves. We shall always be interior in our comprehension. We are here, and it is also here. We are here, and it is also here. And just a bit more of Ernest from today's daily guide reading in the Science of Mind. As I picked this up this morning about 7 and read the Ernest Holmes quote, I had to laugh at how spirit continues to show up, even if it's kind of at the last moment. So here's the closing thought from our founder. Everything is continuously being recreated. And it literally is true that the creative spirit is forever making all things new. We must permit it to make them new for us. We must make the space for it to make things new for us. Let's take that into prayer. Presence, possibility, unconditional love and acceptance, wisdom, companionship, creativity, so much is an element of that all in all in all. Everywhere present, beyond time, beyond form, and intimately available in each one of us as our unique expression of our gifts and talents, an individualized presence as in and of the divine. As I know this for each one hearing these words, I know that guidance, I know that wisdom, I know that unconditional yes that is the heart and essence of all that is. I trust it in the simple, joy-filled moments and in those challenges where I wonder what's up. Always there when I stop and listen, always available whether or not I pay attention, always, always present. I breathe into this truth with gratitude and celebration. Having spoken this word of reminder, I simply let it be, knowing all is well. And together we say, and so it is. Namaste.
Thank you, Reverend Tara, for that beautiful message. Invite us all to take a nice deep breath, breathing in. Let out a big sigh. We use our breath to help us to transition to our practice of spiritual circulation in our community. And when I ask myself the reasons why I give to the community here, what often comes up for me is the love and the support that I feel just from knowing all of you here. And that's something, we actually had our anniversary last year. We celebrated. It's something that our center has been doing for 70 years, 70 and a half now, because we had that in June. And I hope that we can do it for another 70 years. So your contributions and your generosity help us to do that in our community. If you choose to give financially to our center today, we've got a number of ways that you can do that. We have not text to give. You can give online at cslsr.org/donate. We also have text to give. There it is. You can send a text message to that phone number and it will help you set it up and makes it very fast and easy. I use it myself. And we will pass the baskets today. So I invite our ushers to stand and to hold that mindful presence for us as we enter into our offering ritual. So I invite you to hold your gift close to your heart and repeat after me. I bless my gift. I send it forth to heal and prosper. It does wonderful work in the world. And so it is. Ushers, please receive the gift.
So this has a line that you guys can sing along with us. I hope you will. I'm going to teach it to you. It's easy. It goes, sha-na-na-na, whoa, 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 just stop, step back. Try that with me. 2, 3, 4. Sha-na-na-na, whoa, 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 just stop, step back. You got it. Sha-na-na-na, whoa. back. Sha-na-na-na, whoa, 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 just stop, step back. I was struggling with the mighty problem. It kept me up half the night. The more I tried to overcome it, the harder I seemed to fight. So I asked a friend for help to solve it, something to give me an edge. But instead of joining the battle, this is what she said: are you willing to stop, stop, step back, step back, breathe in the open, stop, stop, step back, step back, let the Spirit guide your way. Are you willing to hold a place of not knowing what is next? Oh, stop, step back, breathe and be open. Here we go. Sha-na-na-na, whoa, 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 just stop, step back. Sha-na-na-na, whoa, 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 just stop, step back. I said this all sounds a little bit crazy. Why would I just want to quit? She said it's more like surrender. There's nothing for you to fix. In fact, there's not even a problem, though you believe it's true. If you tell some time to rest your mind, the answer will come through. Are you willing to stop, stop, step back, breathe in the open, stop, stop, step back, let the Spirit guide your way. Are you willing to hold a place of not knowing what is next? Oh, stop, step back, breathe and be open. When you can bang your head against the wall over and over, you only damage your brain. You keep expecting the waterfall down. That's a little something that just might be called insane. Are you willing to stop, step back, breathe in the open, stop, stop, step back, let the Spirit guide your way. Are you willing to hold a place of not knowing what is next? Oh, stop, step back, breathe. Oh, stop, step back, breathe. Oh, stop, step back, breathe. Sha-na-na-na, whoa, 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 just stop, step back. Sha-na-na-na, whoa, 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 just stop, step back. Sha-na-na-na, whoa, 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 just stop, step back. Sha-na-na-na, whoa, 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 just stop, step back.
Thank you again for all of the gifts that you share with us. And can we give some more love to Atreyu and Kristen, Sebastian and Nick? All right. First thing I want to share with you, this week, our teens are going to winter teen camp. Actually, they're leaving on Friday, and Jennifer wanted me to let you know because they're grateful for all of the ways that you've helped to support them so that they can go to teen camp in the winter and in the summer. So thank you for all those who have attended their bake sales, bought wreaths. I mean, there are so many different creative things that they've done for fundraising this year. It kind of blows my mind. So thank you for that. And I look forward to some really fabulous pictures when they get back this weekend. I remember when I first got an inkling that I need to take care of this thing called my body, right? And I started to do yoga, because that was, what I thought would be fun. And, I learned how helpful it is, as we say in yoga, to get bendy, right? And it turns out that getting bendy is also good for our minds. Now, it's not yoga, but it's a cousin of yoga. And starting this Tuesday, January 14th, you'll have the opportunity to embrace more flexibility and bendiness with certified Feldenkrais teacher Donna Hoover in her class that she calls Awareness Through Movement. And she's going to guide us gently through all of the movements that can help us to grow our flexibility, not just in our body, but in our mind, so that when life inevitably throws changes at us that we might not be expecting, we can meet them with compassion and courage. I have a quote for you. It is a beautiful and true thought to realize that every person stands in the shadow of a mighty mind, a pure intelligence, and a divine givingness. And that's an excerpt from Ernest Holmes in the first chapter of the Science of Mind textbook. And Dr. Edward is going to be teaching a class that starts this Tuesday called The Nature of Being. And it's based on that very first chapter of the Science of Mind textbook, where Ernest Holmes gives us the basics of all that Science of Mind is all about. And what Dr. Edward's done with this class, he's designed it to make Science of Mind easy. Super, super easy. And I know I appreciate that, because sometimes I just need all the stuff in here to be set aside so I can get back to the basics. Best of all, this class is 100% free for anybody who has already filled out a 2025 giving intention, or if you fill out a 2025 giving intention today. So you've got a couple of opportunities to join that class in person here in the sanctuary on Tuesday. We're also offering it on Zoom on Saturday. So if you sign up today, you'll get all the information for that this week. I know that I'm passionate about doing what I can to help our world be a more loving and inclusive place. But I also know for myself that sometimes it can feel challenging to know how I can talk about the things that I can do to be more inclusive without possibly shaming other people or other groups. And so I often wonder, what are some of the ways that I can speak more compassionately and more consciously in a way that challenges things like racism and bigotry? And I know I'm not alone in that. And that's why we're offering a 6-week book study that's called How to Have Anti-Racist Conversations. And it's based on the book of the same name. And that's beginning on Zoom next Thursday, January 23rd. And I really look forward to that. I think it's going to be really great. When I first became a member of our center, which was about over 3.5 years ago now, well, what really struck me was all of the benefits that I learned about in being a member. And that was because in the many centers for spiritual living communities that I've been in over the years, it wasn't always clearly explained what membership was all about. Sometimes in some communities, it just felt like, oh, I checked a box, now I'm a member, now what? Right? And I didn't know what was there for me. I didn't know how that connected me more to the community. Well, that's not our community. This Sunday, not this Sunday, Sunday the 26th, January 26th, Dr. Edward is going to be leading our membership orientation event where we will get to learn about the many, many, many benefits of being a member in our community. And believe me, there are quite a few benefits. You'll also learn a little bit about the history of our community, the structure of how our community works, and it's an opportunity for you, if you haven't become a member already, to say that, yes, this really is my spiritual home. As Dr. Edward always says in these membership orientations, be like, oh yeah, we've been dating for a while, let's tie the knot, right? So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'll see you there. And we'll have that in person in Wagner. We'll also share that on Zoom for you. All right, you heard this phrase from Reverend Tara in her talk, and it's a phrase that we share in our community pretty often, that phrase, change your thinking, change your life. And it's kind of at the root of what Science of Mind is all about, the idea that if I can change the way that I think, then I can change the way that I experience living in the world. Sometimes it makes me wonder, though, well, how can I change this really stubborn, sometimes infuriating, often frustrating thing called my mind that sometimes feels like it's got a mind of its own? The good news is there's a class for that. Right? I know, take two and call me in the morning, right? That class is called Change Your Thinking. Right, and it's going to be beginning the last Monday of this month. I believe that's the 27th. I don't have it written here, so if the calendar is off, please look it up online. And I'm going to be leading us through a 6-week exploration of the basics of the science of mind. We're going to learn how to use affirmation, spiritual mind treatment, forgiveness. We're going to learn about abundance, all of these really incredible ways that we can approach our minds. If, like me, you have one of those stubborn minds that kind of likes to do its own thing. So I look forward to seeing you there. We're going to be offering that in person and on Zoom, and you can find out more on our website about all of these events. So if you want to register, if you need more information, just go to CSLSR.org. Finally, today is our very first of the year AIDS Life Cycle Bake Sale, as you heard from Reverend Tara. And I invite you to stop by the social hall and get a delicious baked treat. And that delicious baked treat helps to support our AIDS Life Cycle team as they prepare for that 545-mile ride from San Francisco to Los Angeles. And all of that is in support of ending HIV/AIDS and providing support for those who are impacted by it. Okay, our nonprofit partner for January is called Open Table Homeless Meal and Service Program. And I invite you to enjoy their video before we close today.
Good morning and welcome to Sunday Open Table at the Church of Incarnation in downtown Santa Rosa. Every week we feed 80 people on a Sunday morning. Our neighbors who are food insecure, they get a hot breakfast with coffee, cereal, oatmeal, and a lunch bag to go. We do this with the help of the Redwood Empire Food Bank, who provides low-cost food, but we also rely on donors and volunteers like you to help us out. Thank you for listening.
Morning. I'm Ann. Welcome to Open Table.
We're making a big batch of pancake batter. We'll be making about 140 pancakes today.
Morning.
Big pot of oatmeal here.
Good morning. ¿Cómo estás?
Have a good one.
Good morning. Okay, and milk, right? Thank you.
Thank you for being here today. We have a lovely breakfast of pancakes, eggs, and potatoes.
Good morning.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I get a peanut butter. Tuna fish.
You bet you.
Thanks for the blanket and thanks for the lunch. Appreciate it.
Thank you for the breakfast and thank you for the lunches that will last for a couple of days. And all the clothes that I got today fit nicely. Thank you.
Thank you to the Center for Spiritual Living for your financial support. We invite you to join us as volunteers alongside us. We look forward to seeing you.
Open table, they are out in the social hall. They would love to have you volunteer with them. Okay, I'm told that today is the last day for Circles for Spiritual Connection to sign up. So if you'd like to do that, you can talk to Chris Kelly. She's in our audience today, and she'll be out in the social hall with you. All right, so thank you again to Open Table. I do encourage you to go and talk to their team and find out how you might be able to volunteer. They are truly doing that good work in our communities today. Okay, yes, thank you. If you are having a challenging time, if perhaps you know somebody who is impacted by the LA fires and you'd like to get prayer support, if you'd like to share prayer support with them, you can go back and talk to Jackie in the corner there at the white table. She will direct you to one of our prayer practitioners who would love to pray for you. We also have online prayer if you're watching us on, actually, no, we don't for this service. Sorry, I'm thinking that it's 9 o'clock. We only have that at 9. Sorry, no online prayer yet, but you can go to our website. There are many spiritual support options for you throughout the week that you can check out there if you need support. Okay, I invite you to stand and repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in my affairs. I think it, I feel it, and I accept it. Just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Please know with me that you are never alone, that Spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look within at any moment to know that you're guided, sustained, and empowered by a presence that expresses itself as you in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly so that in everything that we do and we say and we think, we honor this presence within. And so it is. Enjoy the closing music and have a wonderful week.
For peace, wherever I go, peace goes with me. I feel peace inside, in every breath, peace abides. I know the joy of peace, I choose fear to release. Every moment, love wakes up, and peace is every step. Peace is every step.